controlled Florida's governor's mansion for nearly 30 years and will hope to keep the streak going with Republican Congressman Byron Donalds, who could become the state's first black governor. Donalds will face Republican turned Democrat David Jolly. Jolly was a GOP congressman until Trump's first term. Then Jolly became a fierce Trump critic who is now looking to pull off the upset against my next guest, Congressman Byron Donalds, the Republican nominee for governor in Florida. Congressman, welcome back and congratulations to you on your win. I know you were hearing our conversation with the panel when we mentioned you didn't get 50% support, and whether that might be a concern for you heading into November. Is it?
No, not really. Look, when you're in a primary like this against three other people all working incredibly hard, not to mention another 5 other candidates, you're going to get a lot of ballot split, but that's not the point. The point is that Republicans spoke loud and clear in this primary. We were very grateful to have the support of the Republican Party move on as their nominee. But I think it's also important to note, for all the talk about how Democrats were more motivated to vote in the great state of Florida, Republicans are the ones who turned out, especially on Election Day, going to the polls, because what they want is for the state of Florida to remain the free state of Florida and to continue to be based on common sense conservative principles. And I think that as we move through the general election, Republican voters and independents in our state, and even some Democrats, are going to realize that my track record in business, but also my commitment to common sense conservatism that has made Florida #1 will continue to keep Florida #1.
Well, you know, Democrat David Jolly, we've interviewed him before. I know you've addressed it. You've even asked him and challenged him to debates prior to now. He says he thinks he can beat you in November. Listen.
If the election were tonight, we would win the general election in Florida as a Democratic candidate. Sure, I think I'm a strong candidate building a coalition, but Aaron, this cycle is presenting an opportunity where voters are just screaming for change. I do think there's a new coalition emerging in American politics. We're seeing it in Florida. It's rooted not so much in party, but in the basic everyday majority that believes that the economy should work for everybody.
You know, he said that you're more focused on culture wars than affordability. Your response?
Well, obviously, he wants to pick and choose. We want to make sure we push down insurance costs in our state, make it more affordable to build housing so we can push housing costs down as well, while also having an economy that is thriving so young people can have high-paying jobs to build the Florida dream for themselves. We are also going to continue to defend parental rights in our state and defend Western civilization and family values. So if David Jolly thinks that protecting girls, whether it comes to their puberty or for them to compete in athletic competition, if he thinks that's a culture war, then I'm very clear, sign me up, because we're going to protect common sense and family values in the state of Florida. That is why more people come to our state than anywhere else in America. It's the reason why there's 1.5 million more Republicans than Democrats in our state. And I think David Jolly and his party needs to have a question. Are they going to support what some would consider a progressive Democrat party or the Democrat Socialists of America? Because I know the Democrat nominee for the United States Senate aligns with the DSA. So the question is, what does David Jolly support? I look forward to litigating that in our first of 3 debates.
Obviously, he has predicted that people will align him with the Democratic Senate candidate as well. I'm sure he'll have to address whether or not that's an albatross or an asset. But Congressman, the president did endorse you, and you may be very popular among Republicans, but the polls do show that most voters are not happy. His approval rating continues to hover in the low 30s. Given that, will you welcome the President of the United States on the campaign trail with you?
Of course. Listen, the President is a friend and obviously supported me in this race, and I anticipate he's going to continue to support me all the way through to November. That's what's going to happen. And so, of course, we'd love to have the President, because at the end of the day, voters, I think, throughout Florida, especially in Florida, they remember through all of America. Remember what this country was like 3 years ago. Joe Biden let 10 million people into our country illegally. The Democrats created a massive inflation that most Americans had never seen in their life. The greatest inflation in more than 50 years that was destroying the pocketbooks and destroying the family budgets of Floridians and Americans. Not to mention the fact that you didn't even know who was running those agencies under Joe Biden. It was run amok, run by radicals. So Donald Trump is doing the hard work of fixing this country. Here in Florida, we actually embody the ideals of limited government and free markets, and that's why people continue to choose our state, while backing the blue, making sure that law and order is standards.
It's interesting because a lot of people running and voting have the exact opposite opinion of what you just described some of the assets of what Republicans have done on President Trump, and yet he was in office, but you've got another issue in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis did not endorse the primary. Have you heard from him tonight? And is it your expectation he will support you now that you are the Republican nominee?
No, I haven't heard from him tonight, but I anticipate we're going to sit down pretty shortly, and looking forward to having the governor's support, because at the end of the day, this isn't even about really endorsements anymore. This is about the future of Florida. We have already seen other states that's had a Republican governorship that had switched to Democrat. Look at the state of Virginia. Abigail Spanberger ran as a moderate, and when she got elected, she started governing like a radical. In Arizona, Katie Hobbs ran as a moderate, and then when she got elected, governed as a radical. The people of Florida have come to our state for common sense conservatism. A lot of that leadership by Governor Ron DeSantis, and he's done a great job leading Florida. The people of Florida are going to be very clear. They do not want our state to look like Virginia. They don't want it to look like Connecticut or New York or New Jersey. A lot of Floridians left those states to choose the Florida dream. We're going to protect that dream and take it to a whole new level.
What do you say to those who look at Florida and realize it's never seen a black governor? Why you?
Listen, this is not really about my race. This is about the value system, the vision for the future of Florida, and policies that let families thrive. And Florida is a great meritocracy. I've learned that about my home state ever since I moved here 30 years ago to Bristol College. Our people, they just want you to be able to get the job done, have common sense policy, and make sure the government stays out of their way. That's the standard in the state of Florida, and as the state's next governor, that will remain the standard.
If Governor DeSantis is not endorsing you, will you take issue with Republicans?
No, that's not even an issue. We're focused on the next 77 days. And the next 77 days is about the decision for the people of Florida. Do you want to follow the line of the Democrats that have really damaged a lot of these states, or do you want Florida to continue to be the free state of Florida? And I think the people of our state, obviously Republicans, independents in our state, and I would argue even some conservative Democrats, they want Florida to remain the free state of Florida because we're the best state in the country, and that's not changing anytime soon.
Congressman Byron Donald, who did speak tonight. Let's speak again. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Up next, after that viral clip on Trump's